Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. You are now inside a winner's circle, and I am here with the amazing multi-hyph Miss Claudia Jordan. We're talking about Deal or No Deal Island. Claudia, how are you doing today?
I am good. I'm so excited because I did this show a while ago and I'm so excited you guys finally get to see it. I had disappeared off the grid for a while. I put on my social media like, hey, I'm gonna be out for a while. Don't nobody get nervous because when you disappear too long nowadays, they think you out down in Colombia getting cosmetic surgery. And I'm like, no, I didn't get a BBL. I didn't get any surgery. I was working. So yeah.
Well, it is good to see you working. Welcome back. I'm certain that time was needed for some rest, some relaxation, some reset. You went from holding case number one to now trying to get the bag or trying to get that case. How do you like the new format?
I think the new format is amazing because it's psychologically it's so much more like difficult. Deal or no deal is already difficult, not knowing when to quit, when you're doing too much, when you should stop. And then this show is just that on steroids. We're in the middle of the Bankers Island in a jungle on a beach. There's snakes, there's mosquitoes, there's monkeys, there's all kind of things. Then you have your castmates. Who do you trust? We are sleeping five deep in my tent, so it's hot as hell up in there. My bed feels wet. There's spiders in my bed, and you still have to keep your head on straight and still, be effective in the game. And there's physical challenges that were really hard, things I've never done in my life. And I consider myself a pretty athletic person, but there were some things that, like, wow. I don't know if you've seen the preview. There's snakes in boxes. That's all real,
Well, now
and we
let's talk about this athleticism because you like myself from New England, Rhode Island, from Connecticut,
okay.
you participated as an athlete in track and field. How did that serve as a great leg up for you in this competition?
You would think the bigger, stronger people here would just breeze through everything, but everything wasn't about strength. I mean, there is definitely strength, and you need strength to be effective, but you also have to have finesse. You also
Mhm.
have to have smarts. You also have to be able to play the physical, the social game, the mental game. So the weakest physical person here could still win this game. So can the strongest. So like when we first got there, the girls are looking at the men, were like, oh my God, the guys with the muscles, like they're just gonna like breeze through everything. That's not necessarily the case, man. You gotta like, you'll see, like there's some twists and turns in this show where these producers did a good job at putting this show together because they thought of things that I'm like, wow, that's some good ass TV. Like the
Right.
first episode, there's a thing that happens where you're like, oh man, that would be
Right off
tough.
the
Like I
bat,
think
first
out the
episode,
bat, people
right off
be
the bat.
arguing like, what would you have done in that position? Like that's what kind of show it is.
Now, let's take that athleticism and put that to the side because you said that doesn't matter how big, strong, fast you are. This is a little different. You are no stranger to any of these competitions. Let's talk about Celebrity Apprentice and the mind games that go on. What would be the best, should I say, perspective in terms of playing these mind games to get to the next level? Because you're talking about snakes, you're talking about the beach, you're talking about things where you got to be hanging upside down without giving everything away. You have to have the mental fortitude to literally stay in the game. And then you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get this bag for you? How did you mentally have to prepare for this thing?
I don't know if there's any preparing for stuff like this because you don't
Okay.
know who you're gonna be out there with. You know what I mean? So you can't like look them up and say, "Ooh, how do they move?" When you get there, you don't know who these people are. So someone who appears to be very sweet and kind could be the most conniving person there. Someone that appears to be very conniving or experienced at this might actually turn out to be someone that's cool as hell and you want to work with. So not knowing like alliances being formed by different people, then being in your face and saying like, I'm with you, girl, but really they're over there. Like there's double crossing, there's all kinds of that going on. Like this show has everything that you need to have a huge hit. The game of Deal or No Deal, the surviving out in the jungle, the backstabbing, the
Mm.
camaraderie, the athleticism, and the fact that $200 million worth of dollars in briefcases were really out in that jungle. So it's everything. This is a perfectly done show. Like this show is going to be the talk of the town.
Well, this sounds like Survivor meets Amazing Race meets the original Deal or No Deal. Our brother, Mr. Maganello, is at the helm of this, and in between the contestants and the banker, how well of a job does he do to kind of keep everybody on their toes?
He does a good job, but let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you some little insight too. In between, like, while we're working, we're hot as hell. We have no glam. Okay, this is really roughing it. Okay, so we looking all greasy and sweaty and no powder, and we look over to him and he's getting powdered. He's got 5 people holding fans around him, and we're like,
Come
"Sir,
on, Joe. Come
come
on,
on,
Joe.
Joe. Can you share with them fans?" And he was just like, "Oh, what do you mean?" And we were like, it became like a little running joke, like how the contrast of how he was. I'm like, can y'all bring me back next time as a host or a co-host? Because I like what's happening over here.
That felt like that might be the job. Now, can you give us any insight? Are there any showmances, bromances? Like, is this the sort of thing that you want to build that kind of alliance, or is it really about the money?
There were some attempts at some I won't say bromances, but showmance. And there were some definite crushes that were definitely happening on the show. And that kind of gets in the way of, not in the way, but that affects some of the decisions that got made. But yeah, you'll see all of that.
Okay. If you had the opportunity to be stuck on an island with someone, um, who might that person be, Claudia? You don't have to add. You don't have to put me in this category. That would be unfair. But who
Well, I
else
see
would you?
that ring on your finger, so I can't say you because I'm not trying to violate.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're good. We booed up.
Oh, be on an island with someone. I have like 3 best friends, and they don't get on my nerves because some
Oh,
people do. I don't like a whole bunch of talking, and my friends that are like been in my life for a long time, they know that, like, they know the right amount. And I don't have any juicy celebrity for you. I'm sorry if that's what you was asking.
okay. All right. All right. Now,
But
let's
yeah,
say you are on this deserted island. You take the money away. What is the one R&B album that you would leave on that island with you to get you through to be stuck on that island? What would that one R&B album be?
um, well, I have two, but I'll give you one. Okay. I love Genuine's first album, and he's a really good friend of mine. We've been 27 years, cool, and I'm his forever crush, he always says. And then also Maxwell's first album. I could play that. And I think that would keep me
Ooh,
peaceful. I like that Urban Hang Suite. But also
nice.
I like to get crunk, so I kind of like a little C murder, a little F the
So
mother.
so let's talk about hip hop. We just celebrated 50 years of hip hop. What would be your hip hop album? Let's give you a top three that you would be stuck on that island with.
Top three. I would definitely go with some um Boogie Down Productions back in the day.
All
I'm
right.
taking it back to like 80, 87, 88.
All right. KRS-One, definitely.
KRS-One, yeah, BDP. KRS-One, any of his albums, I love them all. Um, Honestly, I really play Cardi B's album front to back without any stops, and I love her. I think she's funny and fun. And what other R&B hip hop album I like? I like old school. Like I like Nas first album. Um, damn. Public Enemy back in the day, Beastie
Okay.
Boys back in the
Okay.
day,
Oh, you're a true hip
Rockin',
hop head. You true hip
Everything
hop head.
Rockin'. Yes, that's the Sonic, all them. I love all that old school hip hop. So I started off my in the entertainment business. I had my radio show in college. I fought to get the first hip hop radio show, and I called it Sounds from the Underground. I was going to school in Cleveland, Ohio. Baldwin Wallace, they very small population of Black folks at the school, and I had to fight for it. And I got to play the B sides. And I remember when Onyx first came out, we were one of the people that, like, kind of, I won't say we broke them, but we were playing them before like mainstream radio played them. And all that old school early 90s, late 80s stuff, that's me all day. That's me
No,
all.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. For the
And of
young,
course 50 Cent, of course
oh,
50 Cent.
you already
Love
know how we get down with that. Um, for the young black and brown girl who is trying to achieve some of the success that you've had up to this point, what words of wisdom do you have for that person who just can't see the light at the end of the tunnel or is looking at things glass half empty instead of half full? What words of wisdom do you share to that young black and brown girl?
Try not to compare yourself to other people, especially if you're comparing yourself to people on Instagram, because their stuff ain't even what they're portraying it to be. Listen, I even use a filter on my face. So, like sometimes, not all the time, but I feel like it's easy to get real insecure and feel like you're not enough when you compare yourself to the lives you see that are curated, that are cultivated, that are photoshopped, that are filtered. That is not real life. Do the thing that makes you happy, and also live your life in a way where you can be okay in a room by yourself and look and like the person that you look at in the mirror. I see a lot of people taking shortcuts that because of that, they can't sleep. They have to medicate themselves. They got to get drunk and high all the time because they're not happy at some other things they may have done to try to make it. And also, listen, you don't got to be like everybody else. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to be different. It's okay to color outside the box. And I think those are the more interesting people. I feel like everyone's trying to like be the same. All the women look the same now. All the men look the same. They all get the same fake hair pieces and same body surgery. Where's the individuality? Like don't be afraid to stand out and be unique on your own. And even if you have to stand there by yourself facing everybody, who cares? Like you're you. There's only one you. And just be the best you.
Yeah, we got too many people running around looking like Kim Kardashian. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the amazing Claudia Jordan, Deal or No Deal Island, NBC, hosted by Joe Manganiello. You don't want to miss it. Check your local listings. This is your boy, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Claudia, we love you. We see you. Keep doing what you're doing, sister.
Thanks,
Peace.
June. Appreciate you.